Honorable Principals. Zakia is not here yet, but she will be joining us soon. Amina, Anwar, Bilki Sapa, Naima Saiba, and Naghma Saiba. Beauties of AMU and all our live audience who are watching us on Facebook Live. Assalamu alaikum. A very, very welcome to all of you. At last, this moment has arrived to celebrate the Women's College Founders Day celebration virtually and globally with all of you. I'm sure you have been eagerly waiting for this moment. I sure do feel honored and humbled to be sharing the screen with all our esteemed principals. Those of you who have graduated between 1987 and 2019, you have your principals with you. And those who have graduated prior to 1987, you might have many of these as your teachers. I feel very fortunate that I have Zakia, Amina, and Anwar as my teachers. And another one who's sitting in this panel is my batchmate and my close friend, Naima. I feel so happy to be with you this evening. I did not get the chance to get the instructions from Bilki Sapa. She was not my teacher because she was on the science side, but I sure was used to of seeing her in the college. And Naghma Saiba, this is the first time I have the opportunity to meet with you, and I'm sure that this will not be the last. Before I start today's session, I would like to share the format of the program with all of you. So we gave some topics and guidelines related to women in leadership roles, and women empowerment to our esteemed principals and asked them to share their thoughts on those topics. Each speaker has given 5 to 7 minutes to share their thoughts with us. Without further ado, I would like to invite the current principal of Women's College, Professor Naima Khatoon. She became principal in 2014. So Naima, I would like to ask you that what advice would you like to give the young people, especially young female entering in the industry? And would you encourage them to take the lead role in educational leadership? So,
okay. Am I audible, Amtul?
You are audible. You are audible, but just if you could be, device still.
What advice is this? My first and primary duty is to, I give the advice to my students to develop their personality in such a way that wherever they go after completing their education, they should be able to put an impact on society, and there should be a tag that they have passed out from women's college, and that tag should be there, and that is to focus on their overall personality development, not only education. In whatever field and wherever they go, they should be strong enough to face the challenges of life, and in a way that they should develop a scientific temperament, that is an inquiry, that to ask question, not just to follow whatever is being told to them. That is there, and plus a well-versed in everything, whatever is happening around the world. I always ask them to develop a habit of reading a national daily, so that wherever they go, whichever discussion they participate, there should be a knowledge. They should always be seem to others that they are knowledgeable, they have knowledge about the current affairs of the world, and also when a person has a good education and good knowledge, that person can fit into in any assembly, any meeting, or wherever they go. And secondly, of course, when they have knowledge and they have overall development of their personality is shaped in such a way, they can participate in anything. Whatever way they are achieving their goals, then it will they're definitely going to have impact on others, and in this way they will automatically develop the leadership quality in themselves, and they can take initiative to work in the field in which they are, as it is our students are already making impact of their presence everywhere. Like Amtul, you are an example, and the others are also there. So I think that is this overall development of personality, the leadership quality, and a person well versed with the knowledge of the current affairs and whatever is happening around the world, they should know about it. That is my edit. At the same time, they should also have some discipline in their life. That's all.
Very well said, Naima. I know that we are seeing a lot of comments in the chat box, which Eram was able to display. People are so happy to see you, and the advice you gave it's definitely right on. And I always remember that whenever we had the interaction with Mumtaz Appa, every time I say her name, it almost make me choke. And she always used to say that. One time I asked her, Mumtaz Appa, how does it feel for you to be the daughter of Papa Mia? I mean, and she said, she just looked at me and she said that, how do you feel to be a daughter of Papa Mia? And I said, me? She said, yes. Do you remember that Papa used to say that every single girl who comes to the boundaries of women's college and school, they all are Betis of Papa Mia. And that is just resonated with me so well that I still remember that. And she also said the same thing. What Naima was saying is that when you go out of this college, that people should know that you came out from women's college. You should have that brand. And believe me, that's what I live for it. I always want to make sure that whatever we are doing, however we are developing, achieving our goals and accomplishments, is that the tag on us is that we are the graduates of AMU. We are the graduates of AMU Women's College. Thank you, Naima. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful thoughts. Our second speaker is Ms. Naghma Kamal. She's the principal of AMU Senior Secondary School, and she is in this position since 2005. So, Naghma, could you please share with us that how does your position help you to motivate the staff and students? And who was your female role model, and how did she empower you? आप म्यूट पे हैं? Hello? Please unmute you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Yes,
I am really feeling privileged to be amongst my senior teachers and my senior principals who have always been a source of inspiration for me. And I'm fortunate enough that Allah Ta'ala has given me this opportunity to guide and shape the future of the young girls in Aligarh Muslim University. As Amtul, you very well said that I took this position in 2005. At that time, I felt myself to be a very little one to carry on this task, but the Almighty Allah has given me the power and strength to carry forward this great task of running this great institution of Aligarh Muslim University that is called as Senior Secondary School Girls. My institution is an institution where I have to nurture the young girls who are at the adolescent stage of their life. They are not mature, but they consider themselves to be big enough to take their own decisions. And
Absolutely.
that is my challenge. That is my challenge, how to motivate them that they may understand that they still need the guidance and support of their parents, their teachers, and their elders. My duty and my task is that I always keep on guiding them, motivating them, and instructing them. I'm using this word instructing this because sometimes it is necessary to handle these young girls with a firm action. So I always motivate them, and my first and the foremost thing is I always try to means inculcate in them the habit of learning. Learning that is not the bookish knowledge, learning from the atmosphere, learning from the surroundings, and learning from their elder ones and peers. This is the thing which never stops. Learning never stops. And for that thing means this learning gives us the knowledge, gives them the knowledge, and the knowledge is the thing that gives them strength. I tell them that if you will get the knowledge, gather the knowledge, then you will find yourself confident enough to enter in any field wherever you want to excel, wherever you want to work. I'm sure that if you will enter into this field with this knowledge and determination and confidence, I'm sure that all of you will excel in the field wherever you will go. So this is my advice that I used to give generally to all my students and encourage them to show their dedication in their studies, as well as the next thing is that I try to inculcate in them a culture that I myself feel I have got from my elders in Aligarh Muslim University. And you see that there are so many teaching institutions who are providing knowledge, who are educating girls as well as the other gender, but it's only AMU which provides us not only education, but it also gives us culture and a feeling that we shall inculcate our traditions and we shall follow our traditions in the life, which is the foremost thing in one's life. So I always tell my students that be confident, be strong, and have a strong willpower to face all the challenges in life. And that will come in you when you will acquire knowledge. And acquiring knowledge depends upon your dedication towards learning. So these are the few words. And the secondly, as you very well said, that who is the lady, who are those ladies who inspired me and to whom I would pay my gratefulness. And that is, you see that Amina Appa is sitting over there. She has been my teacher. And such a lovely, affectionate teacher I have never got in my life. I am blessed to have Amina Appa as my teacher. Secondly, Zakia Appa. When I came to AMU, the first person with whom I was encountered with was Zakia Appa, who was the principal of Women's College. I took admission in Aligarh Muslim University in MA. And at that time, Zakia Appa was the provost of Abdullah. And she has given me such a confidence and inspiration that I took up this challenge of being the principal of Aligarh Muslim University Senior Secondary School Girls in such a good way. Secondly, Amna Appa is there, Anwar Appa is there. Anwar Appa, I have also worked with Amna Appa, Anwar Appa, and Bilki Sapa. And all these ladies are really role model. Not only for me, I tell my students there's a galaxy of ladies in Aligarh Muslim University to whom you should see, take inspiration, and try to follow their path, try to follow their advices, which they give us from time to time. And Naima Appa, I can never I can never forget her togetherness, her love, her affection, which she always shared with all the people here on the campus. I'm fortunate to have Naima Appa as principal, Women's College nowadays, because she always provide us all type of support and she always provide us guidance wherever we require her suggestions. She always stands with us. That is the very important part that I feel privileged to be with her working as a principal on the campus. So, Amtul, along with this, I can never forget my mother. My mother has been a great source of inspiration for me. She not only gave me birth, she nurtured me in such a way that she taught me how to face the challenges of life with courage and determination. She was a very courageous lady. And she told me that whatever challenges come across you, you should always take it and try to do as much effort, means as much good as you can. And inshallah, Allah is there, is always with us to took us out of the troubles and to give the Allah is there to show you the path to face the challenge. So I pray that may her soul rest in peace in heaven. With these few words, Antul, it's over to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Naima. You said it so beautifully and literally touched my heart. And I could not agree you more that we are with the galaxy of role models. And all the names you mentioned, Zakia Appa, Amina Appa, Bilki Sapa, they are the inspiration for us. And we also had the opportunity to work with Dr. Razia Khan. She was our principal, and may Allah give her the highest place in Jannah. And of course, we got to see Mumtaz Appa. So, really, that if we can, whatever they taught us, if we apply 1/4 of it, I think we will be very successful as leaders. So again, and I am reading the comments and really making me nostalgic. And every time I read a comment about all of you, is just how wonderful you were and how much they miss you. Some of them are seeing you. They say after half a century they're looking at you. So it is. That's what I feel. This event is such a wonderful event that we get to stay with our beauties of AMU and brought all of you in front of them, so they're happy and they're sharing their thoughts. And I would say the same thing is that, of course, that we have these role models, but I think it says that charity begins at home, and I would also say the same thing for my mother, that she gave so much confidence, and she always asked to do more. And her favorite couplet was, she always used to say that sitaron se aage jahan aur bhi hain, abhi ishq ke imtihan aur bhi hain. So it's not like that what you accomplish, you have lot more to do. So again, I said that it's really making me feel nostalgic to hear all the thoughts and the comments of the people who are live with us. So now, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Naghma, that you put it very beautifully. And like I said, that this is the first time I get the chance to see you, but this will not be the last. Inshallah, we'll have more of these type of sessions to make sure that we stay connected and share the wealth of knowledge from all of you. So now I would like to invite Bilki Sapa. Bilki Sapa was the principal of Women's College from 2008 to 2013. And Bilki Sapa, we would like to know about the important and influential women in your life that you would like to thank but never had the chance to do so. So, and you can share your other thoughts as well. So, Bilki Sapa.
Assalamu alaikum to all. Aligarh and Women's College have always been an integral part of my identity and make me what I am today. I studied AMU Girls High School and then at Women's College, and later went as served as the principal of Women's College between 2008 to 2013, and as a provost at Abdullah Hall from 2007 to 2010. During my student days at college, Mumtaz Appa was the principal who was famous for being a strict administrator. When I took up the responsibility of principal of Women's College, she was role model, and I always remember her in difficult situations during my tenure. I tried to solve the problems at hand, keeping in mind her ideology, and Alhamdulillah, Allah always helped me in difficult decision making. हम सब मानते हैं कि हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी अपने एक ख़ास तहजीब और अखलाक के लिए मशहूर है, और ये तहजीब है जिसकी वजह से एक अलीगेरियन और वुमेंस कॉलेज स्टूडेंट को हम दूसरे इंस्टीट्यूशन के स्टूडेंट से मुख्तलिफ पाते हैं। हमारे अलीगढ़ की तहजीब में ख़ास बात यह है कि हम जब भी कोई जूनियर किसी सीनियर से कोई बात मनवाना चाहता तो वो इस खूबसूरती से अपनी बात रखता कि सामने वाला खुद अपनी बात से उसकी बात से एग्री करने लगता। जब मैं कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल बनी तो मैं हमेशा कोशिश करती थी कि लड़कियों को इस बात के लिए तैयार करूं कि वो सारे सब्जेक्ट टीचर्स को सलाम करें, क्योंकि उस ज़माने में एक फैशन था कि लड़कियां सिर्फ अपने सब्जेक्ट की टीचर्स को सलाम करती थी। इसके लिए जब भी कॉलेज में मैं राउंड लेती तो दूसरी लड़कियों के साथ को खुद सलाम करती थी। उसका ये रिजल्ट हुआ कि कुछ अरसे बाद लड़कियां खुद सलाम करने लगी। My 5 years as a principal at the Women's College left me with many wonderful memories, and throughout my tenure, I made all efforts to motivate the staff and students of the college to achieve greater heights. It was during this period that our college library was first time connected with electronically and manually to Azad Library, and our girls easily borrowed books from AMU library by placing a request at the college library itself. In fact, to encourage young girls, I also started an annual exhibition on 1001 inventions of Muslim scientists, which is displayed at our college library each year on Founders Day for 1 week. Also, to increase the education standards of the college, smart classrooms were introduced for the first time during my tenure. To encourage and motivate our girls, another feature that was introduced was displayed the photographs of Padam Bhushan Best Girl awardee, famous alumni and dignitaries who visited the college at the front entrance college gate. During my tenure, several famous personalities and dignitaries visited the college, including wife of Vice President Ms. Salman Sari, Governor of Uttarakhand Mrs. Margaret Alba, Governor of Jharkhand Syed Sifte Razi, Chief Minister of Delhi Mrs. Sheila Dixit, HRD Minister Mrs. Jitendra Prasad, famous scientist Professor Yashpal, Chairman Aga Khan Foundation Professor Abad Ahmed, singer A.R. Rahman, and Mrs. Sharmila Tagore, to name a few. These visitors brought popularity to the college within and outside the country, and also encouraged the students to strive for excellence. To further build confidence in our girls, we introduced the God of Honor of the guest and dignitaries by the college own smart NCC cadets. मुझे खुशी है कि मैं इस कॉलेज की एलुमिनस भी हूँ और एज ए प्रिंसिपल इस कॉलेज की ट्रेडिशंस को रिवाइव करना की पूरी कोशिश की और जिसमें कुछ हद तक कामयाब रही। मैंने टीचर्स और स्टूडेंट्स में कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाने के लिए और इनकरेज करने के लिए हमेशा उनसे फीडबैक लेती रही और एडवाइस भी लेती रही। मुझे इसकी खुशी है कि इस तरह एक्सीलेंस हासिल करने के लिए मैं इन लोगों को मोटिवेट कर पाई और अल्लाह का लाख शुक्र है कि अल्लाह ताला ने ये खूबसूरत मौका मुझे दिया। Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
I would like to invite Amina Appa, and as everybody, even in a panel that the sitting there and myself is that we were all student of Amina Appa, and it was just such a delight that because I didn't have her as a principal, but a teacher, our English teacher, and that the knowledge she imparted, not just the knowledge, in her English class, I remember that she always talked about that how we are sitting in the class, how we are dressing up, what should we be wearing, what we should not be wearing. And when we leave the classroom, how should we leave? How should we leave like ladies? And all those things is, those ideas just like come to mind, because I remember Amnapa's smiling is that, sometime when the period is over, some girls used to just like run out that they were in a cage and now we are free. So even Amnapa noticed those things, and that she will advise us that how, you should always be like a ladies and how you should exit from the classrooms. So Amnapa will be talking about the will of Papa Mian Alabi. And also there's a myth about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, that he was against the female education. So, and we know that it troubled most of us to hear that. So Amnapa will clarify that. So Amnapa, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Let me begin by offering my best wishes to Women's College, the students, teachers, the staff for the Founders' Day that is tomorrow. And I must say, before I say anything else, that hats off to Beauties of AMU for this wonderful feast that you have arranged for us in the last few days. So some questions for me, but before that, me and my life at Aligarh, just a few words. Amtul started off on something that I must have done in my classroom. I'm sorry if I hurt anyone by telling you how to walk and how to dress. But anyway, that must have become necessary at some point of time. I don't know. What many of you perhaps do not know about me, and I'm not very happy about it, that I am not an Aligarhian in that sense of the word, that you have to study at Aligarh to become an Aligarhian. But I think 38 years in Aligarh, and I am a true blood Aligarhian, in the sense that I carry Aligarh with me. I think many of my friends know that when I went to Aligarh, a very arrogant city girl, 23 years, newly married, and a lecturer in the Women's College, I said to my husband, I don't think I'll last for more than 1 year here, but I lasted 38 years. And for this, I give credit to my dear husband, Professor Kishore. Most of you know him. And he left me a year and a half ago, and I'm still coping with the loss of a good partner and a friend. I did give a lot of my energies to the college and my commitment, but the love and affection I got from the college, from my students and friends in Aligarh, I think it immeasurably is beyond anything that I did in Aligarh. For that, I'm very grateful. And I remember Aligarh with great love, always. When I entered Women's College in 1969, Papa Mia's presence was very rich there. Everyone was still talking about him. And when Mumtaz Appa walked down the corridors, it was like she was carrying the tradition of the founders with her, carrying the greatness of the founders with her. So I knew I was in a very important historic place. Riyaz Nai's Bade Chalo inspired us, young teachers. Majaz's Mera Watan always inspired us and moved us. But I must confess to you that it was not until I saw a very significant document during the course of my stay in Aligarh, quite early on, the last will of Papa. That document, I think, shook me and made me realize the value of where I was and what I was doing there. What Papa did and what Alabi did for setting up the girls' education institutions is known to all. But I think young girls should also go through this document for the spirit of dedication, total commitment, a self-effacing commitment to a project, a dream that document reveals. What I'll do is I'll just read to you a few words from my own words, actually, that I had written for the book, centenary book that we had published in 2006, just before I left, Dreams and Destinations. I don't know if many of you have come across that, but I think that's a book where we tried to bring together a history of an era. The work deed, I think, was a gesture of a final dedication of a life richly lived towards a cause. Let me quote my words here. His last will, I'm saying that, his last will, Papa's last will, surrenders the rights of his successor over his family property. The Abdullah Lodge, his family home, would also be transferred to the care of AMU for use of girls' high school and women's college. His children are exhorted in the last will, that's a waqf deed, to use the premises of their father's property if and only if they were desirous of being close to the college, or for the sake of the children's education, or for the love of the idea of women's education. Mind you, he gives them the opportunity to stay on, use the property, only if they are interested in girls' education. They would have no right to sell even the debris from that land. The malba is the word he uses there. Even the debris, they cannot sell, they cannot rent out, they cannot benefit from that land, because he had put it in the trust of AMU for the use of girls' education. And I must show my appreciation to the family that they honored their father's wishes, the trust that he placed in them. I think they have fulfilled the trust. The last of his children is no more, and the rest of them are as dedicated to women's college as their grandfather was. And I must pay my appreciation to them. Then the next question that Amtullah asked me, this conundrum that usually many historians play with, many people like to talk about in their speeches, that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was against women's education, and that makes Sheikh Abdullah somehow a breakaway pioneer, going on all on his own, breaking away from this ideology of his mentor and setting up a women's education project. Meticulous historians also have taken up this topic. Some of them take some view, another says no, it did not happen so, but I do not believe in polarized views on topics like this. History and historians and historical stands, historical strategies, I do not think they can be judged in a unidimensional manner. Sir Syed's focus was on a broad issue related to a whole community. He was a strategist. Time to time, as a problem confronted him, he evolved a strategy. He used it for the sake of the project that he had in mind, his dream, and he fulfilled it. Sheikh Abdullah had this dream of women's education. There was already a center for women's education within the Muslim education project. It is not as though it was not thought of. Sheikh Abdullah went on with it with a very missionary zeal. His wife helped him. So to me, the project that Sheikh Abdullah took up is on a continuum with the project which Sir Syed Ahmad Khan had started. Historically, one project followed the other. And what the girls have achieved today with the help of Sheikh Abdullah's dream is what Sir Syed Ahmad Khan saw for his whole community. So I do not see any opposition in this. And I only feel that history has followed history, event has followed event, a project has followed project, and it is a fulfillment of a long dream of many pioneers together. Sheikh Abdullah's Women's College Women's Education Project was an extension, expansion, and a refinement of the project and the dream of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. This is Amina Kishore's view, and I think most of you will agree with what is happening. Sheikh Abdullah always told his girls that they must be proud and they must value the heritage that they have received. They are part of AMU. And I think the women have fulfilled that wish of Papa Mia. What they are doing in their lives, the success stories of all our women who go away from women's college, carrying the values of Sheikh Abdullah, that is only a realization of the AMU dream. There is no, in my opinion, there's absolutely no contradiction there. Personally, I feel that being in women's college has been a fulfilling thing for the teachers. Teachers have done as well as the students, and our girls have reached almost all corners of the world. Their children have come to study with us. I think I I don't know if I've taught 3 generations of students, and some of my old students came back with their children. And if I like to remember myself in the women's college, I would like to remember I might have also done many, many things in the college, because projects come up, we take up, the principals pursue the university's authorities, they get sanctions, we do so many things. But what I remember is that I was accepted completely by the college. And even today, after 13 years of having left the college, my ties with women's college are very, very strong. And there are so many, I don't know if I can say this, but every winter we go back to Aligarh. We used to, my husband and I, even now I try to, once this thing clears up, I'm sure I'll go back to Aligarh again. And when I go back to Aligarh, it is a matter for me that who can I meet and who can I leave. So usually I'll request Naima or whoever the principal is there. Naima is a wonderful person. I just have to tell her, and she arranges that I meet as many people as possible. Because I can say about Aligarh, if I get a second chance, I don't know if Amtul and Niram, you must tell me if you want me to go on with some anecdote or something, or do we go to it later? Do we have a second round of talk like that? Or can I would like to share with you something if there is time. Can I go on?
Yes, please.
Wait. I would like to one or two things I would like to share with you.
बिल्कुल मैम, सभी लड़कियां यहाँ पर जानना चाहेंगी कि आमना मैम को कोई ऐसा किस्सा हो जो लड़की के बारे में शेयर करना चाहेंगी. तो मेरा तो जैसे पहले भी मैंने आपसे क्वेश्चन किया था कि भाई अंदर से आपको गुस्सा आ रहा, अंदर से खुशी हो रही हो लेकिन बाहर से गुस्सा दिखाना पड़ रहा हो, कोई ऐसा किस्सा या कुछ भी जो आपको लगता है कि आपने कभी किसी से कहा नहीं, अब कहना चाहिए आपको. और बहुत कमेंट्स आपके लिए आ रहे हैं मैम, बहुत ज्यादा कमेंट्स, एंड सभी के लिए बल्कि बहुत कमेंट्स यहाँ पर हैं. चलें, आई एम सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू.
Would you like to go on to the other person and then I come on?
No, you can carry on.
You can carry on.
Okay. I would just like to share one or two more things with you, because Aligarh, I don't remember as a place where I only worked and I was a strict teacher or a strict principal or the correct person or whatever. But, as teachers there, we enjoyed ourselves a lot with principals helping us out and being good guides and good seniors. Right from Razia Appa was my Mumtaz Appa was the principal when I joined there. After that, Razia Appa, then Miss Thomas and Zakia Appa, of course. All of them shaped me in many, many ways, gave me responsibilities, accepted my suggestions, told me so many things as to also how to walk and how to dress, perhaps. Razia Appa told me to lose weight, and I did, I think, because of her. But after all that, I only like to remember Aligarh as a very happy place, because it kept me happy and it shaped me, it helped me grow up nicely. And I think the end product that I came back with from Aligarh is something that I don't regret at all. I had wonderful seniors, wonderful friends. We had parties, picnics. We used to dress up and put up shows for the senior girls as they were going away at their farewell parties. I don't know if any of you remember that we enjoyed being on stage, and we used to just go onto the stage without any rehearsals and put on some show or the other. I remember Razia Appa playing Snow White and we playing the dwarfs, and wonderful times we had. But the best thing that I carry away from Aligarh is the relationship between teachers and students. I remember wonderful students, so many names, so many faces. With advancing age, I'm 74 now. At 74, I can take the prerogative of saying I've forgotten you or forgotten that or forgotten this. But no, I don't really forget. I remember many, many, many things and many people and many faces there. And that's what I cherish sitting here in Hyderabad. I would like to, because I'm talking of names and memory and remembrances, I would like to share with you one small incident that took place when Hamid Ansari Saab had taken over as Vice Chancellor. He had come over to Women's College for the first time, as we see. And we had arranged a meeting of the Vice Chancellor with the teachers. I invited the teachers from the stage to introduce themselves. And then it started, and people started talking about themselves. I'm so and so, this subject, that subject. And then I could see after about 10 such introductions, the Vice Chancellor was getting slightly restless and looking at his watch, maybe. So I thought, 110 people doing this, I don't think the VC can take so much of introductions. So what I did was, I said, let me take over. And I took the mic and started calling out the names and the subject and some special things about them or whatever. And I went on and on and on quickly. At the end of it all, he says, how many of them were there? I said, 110, sir. He said, good memory. I said, no, sir, good family. I know them because they are my family. That's how it was. My teachers, my family, my friends, this my. And this my thing, I think Naghma also mentioned my college, my institution. I must share with you one strange incident that took place. But I think of it also with love, because many incidents like that also are learning incidents. I was in the university meeting the registrar and the finance officer about, at that time, I think I was OSD in +2. I was meeting them about some funds. So while I was talking to the FO and the registrar and whoever it was, one gentleman who was sitting around listening into the conversation, he says, ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता आप लोग मेरे पैसे कहते हैं. मैंने कहा होगा कि मेरे पैसे कब आप रिलीज करेंगे, something like that. तो मेरे पैसे कहती हैं आप, मेरी कुर्सी, मेरे पैसे, ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता. तो मैंने कहा मेरा आपसे तारुफ तो है नहीं, लेकिन जब तक कोई भी किसी कुर्सी पे बैठेगा वो उसका ही पैसा ही होगा. कॉलेज की प्रिंसिपल या ओएसडी हूँ मैं +2 में, तो मेरा ही पैसा मैं कहूंगी. टर्न ऑफ प्रेज कहते हैं इसे, ये मेरा पर्सनल पैसा नहीं है, मेरा टर्न ऑफ प्रेज है, ऐसा ही कहा जाएगा. So I am happy to say that the authorities sitting before me, I won't name him, he appreciated it and he said, आमना मैम को इरादा बिल्कुल वो मतलब बिल्कुल नहीं रहा था, आप समझे और आप प्लीज चुप हो जाएं इस मामले में. So that is how mera is something that we feel, mera in the sense of mera in the sense of because I am there and I am committed to it, therefore it is mine, not personal of course, but that gentleman wanted to make that point. And as I said, I don't think that I took it as criticism. It was also a learning point for me. And maybe I took care not to say mera after that, I don't know, but still I consider it as mera. Then one more small, very funny incident. Amtul and Iram may have come across such incidents in their lives also. I won't name this girl because I don't know if she is listening in or her daughter is listening in or whatever. So I'll just call her S, okay? Girl called S. So I was the principal already, and I was taking a round. You know, room number 49 up there in the first floor. I don't know if the numbers are still the same, Naima. They must be. So this room number 49, if you remember, it has 2 doors. So as I reached that room, I see a girl crawling out of the back door. The girl, S, was crawling out of the back door. I knew her because she was in English and I knew her very well. So she was crawling out, and I reached just as she crawled out of the door and she was at my feet. She looked up and made a face and said, "Ma'am." I said, "Crawl back." She made a loud whisper and said, "Crawl back." She said, "Ma'am." I said, "Crawl back." She crawled back into the classroom. I think I remember that because later she met me and said, "Ma'am, you made me crawl back." I said, "That was good that you crawled back." So crawling back is something I cannot forget. The one phase of my life which I remember very well in the college is during the Babri Masjid debacle and the curfew that followed in Aligarh. I was the provost at the time, and the way the girls stood up, the way the girls kept their equanimity, and the way they cooperated with me. I used to walk in the evenings and enter the campus because the curfew was on, and I didn't want the staff or the car or the driver to come and take me. So I used to walk through the back lane into the college, and I used to be there the whole night and walk back after Fajr ki namaz. And my good friend Kaniz hosted me many a night there in the college, in the campus. I remember that. And I cannot forget the many girls. I just saw a message from Diba there, and these were the young people who were there, and they behaved with such equanimity, such devotion, such a understanding of the crisis, and without flapping, without getting homesick. They looked after everyone, and they looked after the security of the place. They minded my words. They understood that I was there because of them. I can't forget those days. And I think that was a phase that I cherish very much. I'll go on and on. As you said, memories are many and incidents are many. I can go on, but I think I must thank you now and stop here and listen to the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amna. It was just like we were mesmerized. We just felt that this moment should not end, and we will just continue to listen to you. And of course, we have some time constraints. But good thing is that this program is recorded, so definitely we will be able to listen to you over and over again. So thank you so much. Now it's time to invite Zakia Appa. Zakia Appa was the principal of Women's College from 1987 to 1996. We asked Zakia Appa that if she could share her thoughts on how she was able to carry forward the vision and mission of Papa Mian Alabi, how successful she was to keep the traditions alive, as well as brought innovative ideas to enhance the standard of education. Over to Zakia Appa. आप म्यूट पे हैं ज़किया आपा, माइक ऑन करें.
I want to say adab to everyone and would like to thank Iram and Amtul for organizing this wonderful program for 2nd of February, which we are still remembering. I wish we could be sitting in the Women's College dais and listening to eminent persons and also seeing the girls who were receiving Papa Mia Award and MJ Haidar Award. But sorry to say that in COVID, we could not see such a program. Here, Amtul, I would like to tell you that I have in my mind how to enhance the vision and tradition of and mission of Sheikh Abdullah. Now, I would like to mention you an incident that when I applied for the principalship of Women's College, I had prepared a working paper and presented it to the selection committee. The first question which the Vice Chancellor asked me, that you are already a professor, why do you want to become a principal? You will get the same salary and all. My answer was that, sir, whatever I am today, it is because of Sheikh Sahab and Women's College. And I want to pay back in my own humble way whatever I am today. As you all may be knowing that I got my undergraduate education in the Women's College. And whatever I learned there, as far as education is concerned, and also as Sir Sayyid say, तालीम के साथ तरबियत ज़रूरी है. So I would like to tell you what happened what changes took place during my principalship. When I took charge, after 4 months, I had to prepare 5-year plan for women's college, what we want. And I prepared the plan and took it to the UGC with the Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, whosoever was, and discussed this. My main aim was that the women's college should get separate status for funding and for other facilities like teachers, introducing new subjects and all that. And my demand was quite long, and I'm telling you, I'm very happy. At that time, the UGC chairman was Yashpal, Professor Yashpal, and he agreed to all my suggestions. And he said, Madam, please don't fight. I have given you everything. And the thing which he said about me, that next time if I have to ask somebody to fight for their institution, I will invite you. Anyway, so that I never forget. And we got separate status for women's college, just like women, engineering college and medical college in AMU. And lots of money were given, and number of posts, lecturers, readers, and professors were given to women's college as such. So I'm very happy to tell you that during that period, few new subjects were added, like biochemistry, like philosophy, like statistics, and large number of teachers we got teaching posts. Then we also constructed chemistry lab. We also enhanced or tried to remodel the existing labs of zoology, botany, and chemistry. So that vision which Sheikh Sahab had, that he wanted that girls should get an opportunity to study every subject, and they should be equal to men. There should not be any discrimination. Then, as Bilquis mentioned, on 2nd of February, during my principalship, large number of eminent persons were invited. One day, one year, on 2nd of February, Shri Arjun Singh, who was education minister at that time, he was invited as chief guest, and I gave him certain proposals. He gave money for the for library extension, as well as to modernize the hall kitchen. As you know that at that time, I was also Provost Abdullah Hall. So Arjun Singh and so many other well-known individuals like Aruna Asif Ali, like Margaret Elba, and Bilquis had mentioned so many, which I still don't remember. But I was very happy that whatever I wanted to get for the women's college, for its enhancement and for its development, it was accepted. I also started annual Mushaira, All India Indo-Pak Mushaira at that time, and it was very welcomed by the staff of Women's College as well as our students. And poets like Ahmad Faraz, Parveen Shakir, Samina Raja from Pakistan came, and of course our well-known poets like Kafi Azmi, Majrooh Sultanpuri, Shahriyar, Sajda Zaidi, Zahida Zaidi. All these people were invited, at different times, different year. The other thing which I would like to say, that what happened during my principalship is that Papa Mia has written in his biography that I want that a swimming pool should be built in women's college for the girls. You can imagine how forward-looking man he was at that time. So at that time, Margaret Alva was a sports minister. I prepared a project and took that project before her and asked her that we want to build a swimming pool in women's college. And also, I wanted money to open a child care center, creche, for all those working women who can bring their children there. That was also established during my time. And about swimming pool, the government said that they gave us large amount of money. I exactly don't remember, but they said that equal amount of money you have to generate to build a swimming pool, which I could never do. And I came to know the other day, somebody told me that the swimming pool is ready. And I congratulate present Professor Naima that during her term, there will be a swimming pool for girls. And I am really, really very happy. Then during my principalship and provostship, 28 rooms were constructed in Wahidia hostel because there were very few rooms and girls were living under very congested environment. Then the second story of new hostel was also constructed at that time. And we also tried to improve sports in the school. Court, badminton court and basketball court at that time was built. And this, I had also invited, I made a project at that time about the Women's Study Center. You know that a FEA, Female Education Association, is still very active. And Papa Mia started this female education, through which he started a magazine called Khatoon. And he tried to persuade people, parents, that you should send your girls in the hostel to study. So under FEA, a project was prepared and we invited the UGC chairman, and he gave, we prepared, not our colleagues, and we sat together and thought that there should be a Center for Women's Studies in AMU, and we got that center during the vice chancellorship of Hamid Ansari Saab. He was very happy, and center was established, and he asked me that you should take the charge. So at that time, I was also founder, director of Center for Women's Studies. These were the things which, you know, it was always in my mind as long as I was principal or provost, that what should I do to enhance the vision and mission of Sheikh Abdullah. And I still think that the vision and mission of Sheikh Abdullah is still relevant. And we women, young women, because I am the old person, young women should try to persuade girls, that you have to achieve, you have to excel, and you have to prove yourself what you can do, and what but that you are just like, should have a proper place just like men do. So these were the things during which I tried to accomplish. How far, you asked, how far have I been successful? That is not me to judge. But others can say that during my principalship, how much development were taken place in the women's college, and how the girls were involved in various kinds of activities. Like besides swimming pool, girls were also encouraged to go and teach the Abdullah nursery students who were underprivileged and who cannot afford to have good salaried teachers and all that. So these were the things which were in my mind always. And I still think that I have not been, if I evaluate myself that I have not done much in the way of making improvement in the women's college. Women's college is very dear to me. And in the last, one share I would like to recite about Sheikh Sahab. एक शेर ऐसा है कि मीर तकी मीर का मत सहल हमें जाऊं, फिरता है फलक परसों, तब खाक के पर्दे से इंसान निकलते हैं. I wish you, and again, thank you, Iram and Amtul, for bringing us together, at least seeing each other's face. I'm very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zakia. Definitely, what you shared was purely enlightenment. And I do remember one thing from you, learn from you, is that whatever you ask, you must ask with conviction. And I apply that in my everyday life. So thank you so much for guiding us. I know we have exceeded a little bit of our time, and it is very hard that when you are listening to such learned people that it's hard to keep track of time. But to let everybody know, we are reaching to our last speaker of this evening. I would like to invite Anwar Appa. Anwar Appa has a very unique position. We invited her for the principals, for a circle of principals, but actually she held the position of a vice chancellor of a Calicut university. So of course that her experience is a little bit different than other principals. So we just ask Anwar Appa that we're eager to know that what challenges did you face as the head of the institution? Was it more challenging to manage co-ed institution? If yes, how did you manage those tasks? If no, what were your strategies? We would like to learn from you. So over to Anwar Appa. Your mic, Anwar Appa, you're on mute.
Oh. It's fine now. You can speak. It's unmute. Anwar Appa, you are on mute now.
You are on mute now. Go ahead.
Okay. Shall I start now?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Uncle, thank you for inviting me to this program. I'm the odd one out. I have never been the principal of women's college, though I have taught there for quite some time. But I had experience of heading both the women's institutions as well as co-ed institutions. In Aligarh, I was the chairman of the Department of Education, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, and a provost of IG and Abdullah Hall. So 3 terms as provost. So it was lovely experience. For me, I didn't have much of problems in managing the department as well as the university. So, but of course, the issues are there. Women are very, they are extremely, it is their share in the decision making is extremely low. There have not been many women in the position of the vice chancellor or even directors and deans and other higher positions. Even in the corporate corporate world, there have not been many women vice chancellors, many heads of the organizations. So this is one reason why the social perception of the women head of the institutions is different. When I took charge of the Department of Education, for quite long time, they were all male chairman of the department. When I joined after a long time, obviously in the department, there were my teachers and my students and my colleagues. And I always say that I have experience of managing many organizations, but the most difficult is managing the department as the chairman,
Wow.
because you have your own colleagues and you have to be very careful about everything you say and every word you use. And sometimes when the office staff used to draft the letters to the teachers, I used to make corrections because the language is very important in administration. Even one word can land you in trouble. So you have to be your language you use with your own colleagues and your seniors should be more polite, which our administrative staff is not used to writing. They use very authoritative language. So I had to make corrections, but it's still there were men who were not used to having, or they were not happy having chairman, a female chairman of the department. So that is there just because there are not many. Now our department has had many women chairmen, and they are all managing very well. I could do a few things for the progress of the department, and so I'm quite satisfied with that. So was the faculty. I didn't have much of problems in faculty. It's the big social science faculty is one of the biggest faculties of the university, having 13 departments and centers. But I don't think I had any issue which could not be resolved. What is, after all, administration is just a problem solving. There's no problem which is insurmountable. Every problem, every responsibility, some challenges, some issues, but every problem has a solution. So you have to find a right solution to the problems that you come across. And this is as far as difference between managing a female institution and a male institution is concerned. I have been provost for 3 terms, and I don't think if a person has a positive attitude, will to make changes, to make some progress, then I don't think you have problems. Moreover, in all women's institutions, I think they're much more easy to manage than the co-educational institutions, because women are more, I think, less of a troublemakers as compared to men.
Very well said.
And they are easy to manage. आप women's college में किसी को डांटते जोर से या जोर की आवाज से कोई बोल दे तो मेरे ख्याल से वो लोग खामोश होके चले जाते हैं. But that is not the case with men. It is very different with men. They won't. They try to bully you. They try to make troubles, and so in managing. I think women's institution is not at all difficult. I find that in Abdullah Hall and IG Hall twice, the girls are very affectionate, very polite, loving. So it is not that much of a problem. But when as a vice chancellor also, I don't think I had to face as many problems as most of the vice chancellors have to do. It's a very complex job. You have to deal with the government, you have to deal with the local people, you have to deal with the employees, a huge number of them. But thankfully, my training in AMU helped me a lot. The experience I had in managing various departments of AMU, and also all kinds of varied experiences we have as chairman of education department particularly, and also a teacher from the department. Learn quite a lot. And secondly, I think my my education in AMU helped me in many ways. And but you know, the management style of women is quite different from that of men. After I joined Calicut University, I think a week later or so, a professor came to me and he said that, you know, with this, I mean, your soft voice, you will not be able to run this university. So I told him, I said, with this soft voice, I have managed institutions in Aligarh, and I don't think I was a failure in that. So, but this is how he said that the previous vice chancellor used to roar like a lion. And so, don't expect me to roar like a lion. That's not my job. And so this is how, I mean, my style is more authoritarian, authoritative. So many women also are authoritarian and also authoritative, but they are exceptions. And very often they lead in trouble. Women should remain women. Women have some very good qualities. And they should remain women. They should not try to be men, I think. So in every walk of life, for a woman, being a woman is better than being a man. And so, as a vice chancellor, I don't think I had any major trouble. I could implement all the policies, could manage the different bodies quite well. And so that is the success. We could start new departments, new centers, and new institutions. So they are. It was a very interesting experience, very creative experience. So I think administration is quite creative experience. I had a good experience. I have very good memories of the place. People were nice. And as far as challenges are concerned, I don't think there were major challenges for me. I did not have any trouble from the government side or from the agitations and demands, all kinds of demands. They are common problems, and all the vice chancellors have to face that problem. But I mean, it's not a problem at all. It's just a routine thing,
Right.
and it's part of the job. You have to solve the problems of others. Many people will come to you, many people, and if you can help, if you can improve the life of uh, some people, that will be, I feel, very satisfying experience. And in administration, we are able to make difference in the lives of others. Secondly, what I think is a positive attitude, um, uh, passion, desire to do something. As Zakia just said, that she was so passionate about her job, and she added a lot of things. We learned a lot from Zakia, my very esteemed teacher also. So not only as a student, my association with Zakia as a principal was really a learning experience for me. So I learned a lot from my friends, Amina, and we had a good time together. I was provost and she was the principal. And so we had a very good time with each other. Uh, I don't think administration poses some challenges, no doubt.
Yes.
And for women, it is much more challenging. The attitude of the society as such, your own, getting your voice heard is also a problem. Uh, like one of the head of the some corporate organization has said, then when you start asserting yourself, people will not like it. They won't let you talk. And she also had related her experiences that she said that if I wanted to talk, people would complete, men would complete my sentences. And it is obviously sometimes there are frustrations, sometimes there are very positive experiences. The only satisfying thing is that wherever I went, I was able to make some changes. And that too is, I think, administration, I find quite, this thing requires quite a lot of effort. And also, you're lucky if you're able to implement the policies. Not everyone is able to do that. And I remember that once there was a some major overhaul of the system was to be done at the state level area. And that was a major structural changes that were taking place. So we all were, we all planned and we got those plans approved, a system, the changes that had to be made. They were all approved. We had no problem. And we got the system, choice-based credit semester system implemented. But every university could not do that. So these are the issues that we face, and it's very frustrating for us. And they were not able to implement because they didn't get the cooperation of the syndicate, which is executive council here, and the Senate, and other academic council and all. They are the bodies that eventually approve every policy that is proposed by the university. Only then it goes upwards. But everyone was not able to do. We were the first to implement twice-based system in Kerala. And others followed, of course. But everyone was not able to do that. And moreover, I mean, it is not easy to manage universities in Kerala. In Calicut, there were 5 students' unions, 3 or 4 teachers' unions, associations, and employees for 5 employees' associations. So we had to consult everyone, students' union and the employees' unions, and each one of them was there involved in it. Not only that, we had to convince the leaders of the state in Trivandrum. And they all had some objections, some apprehensions, but we had to clarify, and eventually we were able to implement those changes. But they were major changes, a complete overhaul of the system. So these are some of the interesting experiences.
Thank you, Anwar. I know we would love to listen to you more, but we have the time. So.
Okay, Uncle Appa, let's find.
Okay, so this concludes today's session. And as we said that, I don't know where did the time go. And it says that when you're having fun, time flies. So we feel like that, we should be sitting here for hours and just listen to you and just absorb everything that you have said and try to implement in the rest of our professional careers. But unfortunately, that is not a choice. So from the bottom of our heart, from Iram and I and all the beauties of AMU, we thank you, a heart thank you. And I will leave you with this quote, which I recently read that, and I think it's very appropriate for the beauties. That is, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. So beauties, you're not alone. You have 15,000 beauties to back you up. We are here to help each other, to support each other, love each other, and make the difference in the world. So long, take care, and
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.